And joining us now on our Sports Talk Book Talk segment, great to welcome a guy who's written a book about golf called The Unwritten Rules of Golf. He's Peter Post, part of the Emily Post family, joined us by telephone from up in Vermont today. And Peter, good to chat with you. How are you?
It's a pleasure to be with you. I'm doing just great, thank you, on a nice sunny day here in Vermont.
Before we get into the book, you have a very interesting family business. Emily Post, everybody knows from the etiquette books, and you've continued that, so that's an interesting family legacy you've got going.
It sure is, and I guess I was just lucky to be both in the family and be able to write about etiquette and then write about my favorite thing, which is golf.
Yeah, you play, I read through the book, you play a Thursday afternoon golf pretty much every week that you can, right?
Just about every week of the year. It's just fabulous because I go down to Florida in the winter and I got a game down there on Thursday afternoons as well. So it's now summer and winter. I get to play it. It's awesome.
Oh, that's good because, Vermont, as you know, you can't always play up there. You get a short season.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, golf, unlike any other sport, I should say, has more rules, both as part of the game and as surrounding the game than probably any other activity, right?
Well, it certainly has both of those, and because the participants have rules that dictate how they interact with each other, in addition to the rules of the game itself, it kind of like doubles those number of things that you got to be thinking about all the time.
And probably unlike most sports too, even the professionals that play it, they don't always know all the rules themselves, right? You see that on the tour a lot.
That's right. Exactly. A book like this isn't just for the beginner. It's sometimes for the seasoned golfer who is maybe let slide some of those things that they ought to be thinking about.
But it's such an ancient game. Those rules have developed over hundreds of years, and etiquette being a huge part of it. Sportsmanship, of course. I guess you see that in pro golf or any level of golf that players will call a penalty on themselves. You don't see that in any other sport.
No, you don't. I think that's one of the most amazing things about golf is that it's a self-policing thing, and people do call the penalties on themselves. Yeah, and they call it whether anybody else has seen it or not. They call it when nobody else has seen it. They go, oop, I touched that ball, or it was a half an inch out of bounds, and I'm out of bounds. And I didn't just sort of go ahead and assume that maybe I could just cheat and let it be in bounds instead. People actually police themselves. And it's almost difficult to think of another sport where that kind of self-policing goes on. I mean, can you imagine a football player, saying something like, oops, I moved before the ball was snapped, whether the whistle blew or not? Come on, that's not going to happen.
I know, tennis used to be that way. I don't think it's that way in the Pro Tour. When you play on your own, you're supposed to call a ball good or out when you call your own lines, but that's a rarity.
That's a rarity. I think John McEnroe probably changed a lot of that for us.
Right. Well, you had a good story in the book about calling a penalty on yourself. Bobby Jones did that in one of his early majors, didn't he?
He sure did. He called it on himself, and it was one of those things where the ball moved. And Bobby Jones was, thinking, okay, what do I do about this? And in essence, it's like setting a standard for golfers after him to emulate. Okay, I thought that was really, really a great thing. It was a one-stroke penalty, but that penalty was really important to the margin of victory for him that day. And it just didn't matter. He went ahead and called it on himself anyways. And that takes a lot of, I think, sort of character in the person. And he certainly brought that to the game.
Yeah, no question about it. There's actually a course named after him right here in Sarasota. So pictures of the great Bobby Jones. And again, so many of the different rules and etiquette of golf. And I guess the biggest one, and you talk about it in the book, the biggest frustration of anybody who plays golf, no matter how often you play, is slow play. I think you see that in every course you've been on, right?
Yeah, it's definitely, one of the things I did for the book was did a survey of golfers of what frustrated them. And just so many of them, over 2/3 of them were slow play. It just drives them nuts. And it's already a 4-hour game, and when it becomes a 5-hour game, it just becomes untenable for a lot of people, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, and that's one of the big issues. A lot of younger people are not playing it anymore because of that.
Yeah, they are. I like the idea of playing a 9-hole round and making that be good. I like the fact that the handicap system has gone to a point where you can now record a 9-hole round, and it's not hard to be able to do that. It's right there. It's available to you. So it encourages people that the 9-hole round is just as good as the 18-hole round. I've often thought 14 holes would be a perfect length of the game. About 3 hours would be great. But I haven't gotten there. But the slow play, whether it's 9 holes or 14 or 18, it's going to frustrate people, no question about it.
Yeah, one of my golf buddies, he recommends the 12 hole, 6 on the front 9, 6 in the back 9.
Exactly. It makes sense. In fact, one of the things I do is as I play a golf course, I often look at it and I think, if they could just cut out 2 or these 3 holes from each side, wouldn't it be a perfect length?
That's right. Another thing is, of course, people talking on the golf course. You unfortunately see more of that nowadays. People don't seem to keep quiet when they should, or talk, when they shouldn't. That's a big issue.
That does happen, and it happens both when they're having a conversation with another golfer and somebody's trying to make a swing, and there's this conversation going on in his backswing, and it disturbs the golfer, and he'll glare at them afterwards and say, can't you guys shut up, type of a thing, and that can be really frustrating. The other place that it occurs, which is just, I think, becoming a bigger and bigger issue at golf courses, of course, is the use of cell phones on the golf course.
Oh,
and
sure.
a lot of places are saying, don't use a cell phone for telephone calls, for conversations. They're having to relax the rules somewhat, allowing for texting is one of the things that people use their phones for on the course that I see. And the other thing is the apps that help people, determine how far away they are from a hole and those kinds of pieces of information. And those are really useful. So you can't just tell them you can't have the phone on, because that app may be a really good thing to help speed up play. But using the phone to talk to people talk too loud on the phone as it is, and that voice is going to carry on the course, and it's going to be a frustration to others.
You've also coined a phrase in the book, pinnacle, the etiquette around the greens and what you should do at the time. I've seen so many people, just like you talk about it in the book, just throwing the flag down, leaving it there, or not doing it properly.
Yeah, the flag's important, and managing the flag is important, and I love the idea of this thing called pinnacle. And you put the flag down on the side of the green, and off the green, ideally into the first cut off the green. Lay it down. Don't drop it down. Don't throw it. It's not a spear. We don't get to do that. And if you are holding it, think about how you're holding it compared to how that action might be bothering the person who's trying to putt. So if it's a little bit windy, the flag. Take the flag in your hand and hold it so it doesn't sit there and flap around and make noise and disturb the person. And you don't want to be tapping it and playing with it while the person is putting. And then when you put it back in the hole, make sure you get it all the way down. It drives me nuts when I play up to a hole and there's a flag sort of leaning about 45 degrees out of the hole, because the person could put it back into the hole in the bottom of the cup appropriately. And of course, then you get the guys who forget to put the flag in at all. You play up and there's no flag there to tell you where the hole is.
Or how about just not raking the sand trap, or even replacing divots? I mean, that's a huge one.
I think probably number 2 on people's list is the issue of both divots and ball marks on greens.
All right.
How is it possible if I hit a shot onto a green, nice 9-iron or a pitching wedge onto a green, I watch it fall down onto it, I know there's going to be a dimple someplace. There's going to be a little mark somewhere. Fix the thing, because if you fix it right away and you do it properly, and there's a description in the book of how to do that properly, it's a matter of a few hours and it fixes itself. If you don't fix it, it can be up to 3 weeks before that mark heals.
Right.
And so for everybody's sake on the golf course, fix one, it's yours, and take a look around and fix another one that somebody else didn't fix. You'd be doing everybody on the course a big favor.
Yeah, and sadly, I mean, manners and etiquette in a lot of people's cases now are not taught in the family or wherever they're supposed to be taught. So this is an issue not only in golf but every day in life.
It is. We face it every day. We have people call us, about how to teach etiquette to children. How do we get it into the schools? How do we get etiquette to people who are just going out to get a job for the first time and haven't learned it at home before? And businesses, they hire us to come and teach basic etiquette, whether it's dining etiquette or social skills, or it's how to conduct yourself in the workplace appropriately with the other people, so we don't get rudeness and frustration going on, but people are able to work collaboratively. That's happening, and we do this every day. It's just amazing the need there is out there and the recognition that, frankly, your personal skills in business matter to your success.
Yeah, no doubt. Well,
yeah.
The name of this book is called The Unwritten Rules of Golf. We've been talking with Peter Post today. And Peter, I know it just came out, I guess, in paperback, right? Do you have a website you want to direct people to?
It did just come out in paperback. Website is emilypost.com.
Oh, that's easy enough.
There'll be a link right in there for you to be able to go and purchase the book. And so please visit us, buy the book. Love it.
Great. Peter, pleasure talking to you, and good that the weather is warmed up there in Vermont, so enjoy the golf.
Yeah, there's a lot of happy faces here today, I'll tell you that.
Thanks, Peter.
Take care.
If you'd like
Bye.
to order the book we're talking about, please go to DougMilesMedia.com and enter the author's name in the Amazon search box. Thank you for listening. Please come back soon for more conversations here at DougMilesMedia.com. This has been a presentation of Doug Miles Media, all rights reserved. You can listen to or download previous programs at iTunes, Stitcher.com, or Doug Miles Media.